Hi, I'm Thomas Gragg, Hickory Fire Department. Today I want to talk to you about fire extinguishers for home use. We have Eddie with us here today, who's a new employee for the city. So I'm going to be demonstrating and talking to him about how to properly select and to use a fire extinguisher. One of the things that you need to know out there for home use is what's available to you from your local retailer. And this is the most common sizes that there are. You have a 2.5 pound, a 5 pound, and a 10. ABC fire extinguishers, as I said, and the thing to remember about the types of fires, an A-class fire is anything that it's like a natural product like wood and paper. And to help remember that, if you want to, consider A is anything that leaves an ash. Just keep that in mind. And the B classification for fires is flammable combustible liquids. And to help you designate that is, if you can remember B for boil for liquids, that's a little tidbit of information there. And then C is for energized electrical current. i.e. outlets, that sort of thing. So they make it easy for you to select because this is what you're going to find most of the time at your local retailer. The size depends on what you think you need for your home and your budget, whatever you think you can afford. This is mostly what you'll see in a lot of homes, especially like under the kitchen sink or something. That's where we generally find them at most of the time. You have other sizes. Some people like to put this size in a laundry. Some people like to put this size out in their garage because you got your car, you got other things that's going on out there. So that'll help you determine what size and what type that you need. All right, now that you've decided what size and what type you need, you got to determine where you're going to put them. Okay, like I said, this one right here, generally a lot of times you'll find under the kitchen sink. This one you'll find sometimes in like a laundry room or something, or maybe even in the garage, or this size will be out in the garage where there's most flammable materials in a home are located. All right, now that you know where, make sure that you always know where they are. And periodically you do need to check these things. As you can see, all three of these have a gauge on them. You want to make sure that the little yellow needle is in the green. That lets you know that the extinguisher is still fully charged. If it's not, then you need to replace it or take it to a local shop somewhere and have it refilled, because it's not any good if that needle's not in the green like it's supposed to be. Okay, now that we got the size determined and where it's located at, now we need to know how exactly to use it. And we like to use a little acronym that's called PASS, P-A-S-S. So what that means is, before you can use this extinguisher, you're going to have to pull the pin. And some people have a little bit of difficulty pulling the pin straight out with the seal on it. If you can remember to give that pin a little twist and then pull, it'll break that seal right off. All right, A means aim. You got to aim this nozzle, whether it be like this or like this, at the base of the flames. If you aim it anywhere else, you're not going to do any good. All right, next is the S. The first S is to squeeze this handle. Squeeze it. Second S is for sweep. You got to go back and forth. Just sitting there aiming it at one spot is not going to do you any good. You've got to sweep this thing around a little bit. And generally when I do a class, I like to tell people, start back a few feet from the fire, preferably about 8 to 10 feet if you possibly can. Make sure that extinguisher is going to work before you try it. And plus that also, A lot of people have a tendency when they see a fire, they go into this kind of like a panic mode. They want to run up there and shove this thing straight into the fire and then hit it. If you do that, you're just going to blow fire everywhere else, and you're going to intensify the situation. So start a few feet back, give it the handle a squeeze, sweep it back and forth. Important reminder, if you do have a fire in your home, and if you can do so safely, call 911, then attempt to extinguish the fire. Rather than turning my back to it, I'm just going to slowly back away, keeping an eye on it, because this thing can reignite. Last thing you want to do is have fire rolling up your back as you turn around. Alright, we have set a fire in our burn pan for demonstration purposes. This can simulate anything from a trash can being on fire in your home to a pot of grease on the stove, whatever. Eddie now has the fire extinguisher, and we're going to go through the use of this thing. All right, Eddie, go through the pass mode. All right. Remember to pull your pin. You're going to grab your nozzle. You're going to aim it, squeeze the trigger. Now we're going to walk up, sweep it back and forth. Make sure the extinguisher comes the next important thing. You use this thing for a second, or you can completely empty this thing out. You're going to have to either get another extinguisher or take this one to a local shop and have it refilled, because this thing will, like I said, if you've only used it for a second, it's going to eventually lose its controls completely, which means this little yellow needle will fall all the way to the left-hand side. At that point, this extinguisher is rendered no good.